coverage presents Auto Racing 86, setting the standards for the most extensive schedule in racing. Welcome you to Pocono International Raceway, where we begin a tremendous weekend of auto racing here on ESPN. This afternoon, the American Racing Series. Tomorrow morning, the Austrian Grand Prix. Tomorrow afternoon. Mile racetrack, and they're going to be turning speeds much greater than they've ever turned before, Derek.
Indeed, Bob. I think this is probably the biggest lesson these drivers will have learned in the ARS series, because now they're running at a much faster speed than ever before, and they have to learn to set their cars up for turns that are much higher speed than they've ever experienced before. Well,
Fabrizio Barbaza goes into this race with the points lead, but several who were in the series early in the season have already dropped out.
Indeed, we lost the Bren brothers, who were very competitive. We also lost Steve Millen, who was our first winner at Phoenix, but we have still people like Mike Groff, and really Mike, I think, with a good showing here, could take over the series lead after Pocono.
Well, some have dropped out of the series, but we have new phases in it. For more on that, let's go to the pit area. Our pit reporter for the afternoon, here's Gary Lee.
Thank you, gentlemen, and good afternoon. Well, this series was conceived to be a springboard to the Indy cars, to the championship cars. Consequently, we had the guys with vast experience in rear-engine cars and on road courses. But today we have a generous sprinkling of drivers that have come up through the more traditional ranks of sprints and midgets. For example, Mike Groff starts outside the front row, a very successful midget driver, before he moved to Super Bs and now the ARS cars. Sammy Swindell, a former king of the world of outlaws, is here. Billy Boda, sprint car driver from Phoenix. Stan Fox, and making his debut in these cars, we'll have Nick Bonoro Jr. He's won virtually everything in midgets here on the East Coast. The general consensus is, as rough as this track is down in 1 and 3, the guys with experience on dirt in sprints and midgets may have a slight advantage in controlling these cars.
So it's a nice mixture of drivers, and we'll be back in just a moment to begin this American Racing Series event from Pocono International Raceway. And it's all being brought to you by Dodge, a performance revolution and American revolution. By Budweiser Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by Goodyear, you either have Goodyear Eagles or you need them. The starting lineup for today's event from Pocono International Raceway, right after these messages.
2 and 1 the count.
Hi, honey, I'm home. Ooh, I like the way it looks.
I'll be finished soon.
Oh, good. Look, I bought you some new fishing clothes.
Hey, those are nice. Thanks.
2 and 1 the count.
In fact, I'll wear them this afternoon.
From work to weekends, Dickies are America's favorite work clothes, made with Celanese Fortrel polyester.
Every day, 350 tons of paper leaves this mill and heads straight for your desk as memos, reports, newspapers, magazines, all the byproducts of the information explosion. Fortunately, some of this paper is also used to print the Wall Street Journal. At the Journal, more than 400 reporters and editors sift through all the information that could be useful to you and your career. And then they present it to you, each business day, in the Journal's mercifully concise format. There's an important lesson to be learned from all this. Information isn't power. Knowing where to find it is.
Call 800-372-3000 for this special introductory offer. 13 weeks for just $29.50 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $29.50. Phone 800-372-3000 now for the Wall Street Journal.
Get that all-American feeling with live college football on ESPN. You're on campus with the sights and sounds surrounding the nation's #1 teams. Cheer with the best every Saturday night and with exclusive Thursday night specials. Live college football on ESPN for that all-American feeling. See Miami, the top-ranked team in preseason polls, take on South Carolina in ESPN's live CFA season premiere. Saturday, August 30th at 8 Eastern.
Back at Pocono, here's a starting lineup for the ARS race this afternoon. On the front row, pole sitter is Jeff Andretti in car number 85. He qualified at 171.298. Second, and alongside in row number 1 will be Mike Groff. In the second row, car 4, Tommy Byrne, and number 12, Fabrizio Barbaza. In row number 3, Juan Manuel Fangio III in car number 10, and Nick Finoro Jr. in number 59. The fourth row consists of Gerald Rice in car number 6 and Stan Fox in number 11. In row number 5, Ian Ashley in car number 9 and Sammy Swindell in number 7. In the sixth row will be Albert Nayon in car number 84 and Brad Murphy in 14. And all alone in row number 7 will be Billy Boat in car number 8. Billy is a sprint car driver from Phoenix, Arizona. The competitors are now over on the short straightaway, the north straightaway, headed for turn number 3, and they should be getting the green flag this time around. This is a 40-lap race on this 2.5-mile tri-oval, 100 miles.
This is new territory for everybody here, Bob, because as we said earlier in the opening, none of these drivers really have much experience on these high-speed ovals.
And the field a little bit strung out, but they get the green flag, and here we go in the American Racing Series, event number 5 for 1986. It's a nice wide straightaway here at Pocono, and it's 3,740 feet in length, so you can really build the speed as you go into turn number 1, which is a high speed and high bank turn. It's banked at 14 degrees. There is Jeff Andretti, who has jumped out into the lead in that number 85 US Can STP Sanchez racing machine, but he's being challenged by and now passed by Mike Groff as they go into turn number 2. This is the famous tunnel turn here at Pocono. There's been a lot of talk about it. It's been very rough over the years. However, they have moved some equipment in and put down some paving back there, some concrete, and has smoothed out that turn very nicely. We've seen few, if any, problems with the tunnel turn here at Pocono all this week. They come off of turn number 3 now and head down the straightaway once again. Mike Groff goes to the inside. He leads. Andretti is second. Running in third position is Nick Finoro Jr., the youngster from the East Coast, who, as Gary said in the opening, has won just about everything in midgets. 5 championships in midgets last year for Nick Finoro Jr., who's running third.
Groff and Andretti, of course, are old adversaries from the Super V days, so they know each other's driving style very well. Now, we did expect Jeff Andretti to have a slight advantage here because he was the only one that came here to test. And you see him just shoot by into the lead, having got a nice draft up into turn 2.
So 2 leaders here in the first lap and a half. Andretti had the lead. Mike Groff took it, and now Jeff Andretti has it back once again. And there's the number 12 machine, Fabrizio Barbaza from Monza, Italy. He is the points leader going into this event in the Arciero Racing Team's machine. Here they come off of the third turn once again. We have about 6 cars running behind one another. Barbaza is in 4th position, and Tommy Byrne is running in 5th. And in the 6th spot, I believe, is Gerald Rice in car number 6.
Immediately, Nick Finoro, who qualified 6th, is running immediately in 3rd position now. Really, I think he has opened a lot of people's eyes all the weekend here because he's come out and run so smoothly, and actually he's got every bit of speed that everybody else has, and now he challenges Mike Groff for 2nd position.
There is Finoro right behind Groff, but he cannot make the pass. There's Groff in the blue car and Nick Finoro Jr. in the maroon and silver painted car, now dropping back a few car lengths as Groff stretches out the advantage. They head for turn number 3, and this has been the turn that has given most of the drivers problems this weekend. Billy Boat crashed in this turn yesterday, but they were able to get the car repaired and so that he could race here today. But you have to stand on the brakes and slow down considerably to get into that corner number 3. Down the straightaway once again. Now Fabrizio Barbaza in the red car moves to the inside and challenges Nick Finoro Jr., but cannot take that 3rd position. Finoro holds on to it.
Finoro is a man that has the least experience out here because he has come purely from the world of midgets and sprint cars. But really, I think the biggest difference, the biggest problem he will have is trying to stay in the draft because there's such an enormous amount of buffeting from the car ahead of you. I think that's the main problem he's going to have through this race. So when he gets up behind Mike Groff, I think he'll get into very different territory than he's ever been in before.
That's the machine Machinist Union car that Nick Finoro Jr. is driving. We had a long talk with him today, and it was interesting to listen to him. The first time ever in this type of race car. He said going 185 down the straightaway feels like about 50 miles an hour. They were also making some adjustments on the car yesterday, and the chief mechanic on the machine told him they were going to adjust the wicker bill, and Nick Finoro Jr. had no idea what the wicker bill is. Of course, it's a little lip, a little flap at the rear of the wing that gives the car more downforce.
We now see Jeff Andretti begin to assert his authority on this race. We said earlier on he did come here and test. Testing is such a huge advantage for a team and the driver because you're just a half a step ahead of the rest of the field. And I think he was half a second quicker than everybody during qualifying, and now we're beginning to see the experience of his testing paying off, and he's comfortably in the lead here at this race at Pocono.
Jeff Andretti is your leader, running in second position Mike Roth, and third is Nick Finoro Jr. Back with more of the ARS race from Pocono right after this.
From the investor's point of view, with Charles Schwab.
I started Charles Schwab and Company from the investor's point of view. You save on commissions at Schwab, but you also get a level of service that will surprise you.
I take this 11:30 red-eye about once a week. Restaurants are closed, newsstand is closed, but my broker is open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Wherever you are, no matter what time of day or night,
Charles Schwab.
you can place an order with Charles Schwab and Company every day.
Placing an order at this hour is one of the reasons I wouldn't invest with anyone else.
Fast service, big discounts, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm Charles Schwab, and that's the way I see it, from the investor's point of view.
If big discounts and quality service make sense to you, call now for your free booklet, What a Discount Broker Can Do for You. Call now, 800-228-6609, toll free. That's 800-228-6609.
In sports, timing is everything, and the same goes for watching sports. If your timing is a little off, you could miss some great action. No one knows that better than ESPN. That's why we offer our monthly sports guide. The ESPN Sports Guide gives you the inside track and the greatest variety of sports programming offered today. Every race, every game, every instructional series, every rewarding promotion, challenges, action, the best sports news. ESPN has it all. Why play hit or miss with your favorite events? For less than 42 cents an issue, you can guarantee yourself a seat at all your favorite games. That's $4.95 for 12 exciting months of Sports Guide. To subscribe, call 1-800-544-1000 or send your check to Sports Guide, Box 1840, Bristol, Connecticut, 06010. Act now. After all, timing is everything. And now is the time to order your ESPN Sports Guide.
They continue to run in the same order as we have completed 6 out of 40 laps here at Pocono International Raceway, and Jeff Andretti in the number 85 machine is in the lead. Mike Roth is running second. Then Nick Finoro Jr. is third, and in fourth position is Fabrizio Barbaza. There is the interval between first and second position. Mike Andretti, or rather Jeff Andretti, I should say. Mike Andretti, by the way, his brother, has the pole for tomorrow's IndyCar race here at Pocono. Jeff Andretti has been in all 4 of these previous American Racing Series events. He finished 5th at Phoenix, 3rd at Milwaukee, 10th at the Meadowlands, and 10th at Toronto. They come off of turn number 3 once again, and Andretti has about a 1.5 second lead on Mike Roth, who is second in the point standings. And if he has a very good finish and Fabrizio Barbaza has a very poor finish, Roth could take over the point standings because there are 20 points awarded for this event, and you get 1 point for being the fastest qualifier and 1 point for leader of the most laps.
Barbaza is beginning to make his move because he just moved ahead of Nick Finoro and gone into third position. He's out of our shot at the moment, but along the front straight, we did see him in the last shot just ahead of Nick Finoro. So we expect to see Barbaza possibly moving up on Mike Roth, who's currently in second position to Jeff Andretti.
There is Fabrizio Barbaza, who has moved by Nick Finoro Jr. into third place. So Finoro is now back to fourth. And in that fifth position is the number 4 machine, driven by Tommy Byrne from Ireland.
We see Barbaza here, who's done so well, one at the Meadowlands and one in Canada. And really, he's a very inexperienced driver coming over from Italy, speaks very, very little English. so anytime he wins, it's very difficult to get an interview in the winner's circle. But you see Nick Finoro comes right up behind him again into that draft that we spoke about earlier on. So Nick Finoro is still continuing to impress his mentor, who this weekend was in fact Johnny Parsons Jr.
Johnny Parsons Jr. has lent considerable help to Nick Finoro Jr. He moves to the inside at the end of the Long Pond straightaway, entering turn number 2, and Finoro grabs that position back. Finoro now 3rd, and Barbaza back to 4th position. Danny Sullivan also is credited by Nick Finoro Jr. with giving him considerable help, especially on how to drive the turn that he is in right now. Turn number 3, that's the flattest turn of the 3 and the sharpest. It's only 6 degrees of banking. Finoro Jr. in 3rd position, but there goes Fabrizio Barbaza darting to the inside of the raceway and standing on the accelerator, trying to gain back that 3rd spot. Let's see who has it. Fabrizio Barbaza does win 3rd position once again. Finoro Jr. back to 4th, but it's a great battle between these two drivers.
He was back to 4th, but he didn't make it easy. He still stayed on as hard as he could, held his line as much as he could. But you see down the straight where the drivers are trying to turn left before the driver begins to make the break, and he goes by Barbaza again. So there's a very good slipstream drag race type battle going on down the back straight here between Finoro and Barbaza.
Well, Finoro has passed twice now at that same location on the racetrack at the end of the Long Pond straight, just going into turn number 2, and I guess, Derek, that's because he can't get the slipstream.
We have heard that the 12-car Barbaza is actually spraying out some fluid, and the officials are watching that car very carefully. So we hope it's nothing that could be terminal, because this really is the battle of the race at the moment between Barbaza and Nick Finoro.
Barbaza running in 4th position. He resides in Monza, Italy, the scene of the Italian Grand Prix each year. There it is, the number 12 Arciero racing machine. Fabrizio Barbaza began his driving career back in 1983 in his home country in a Formula 3 series. Scored a victory in that series the very next year and finished 3rd in the 1985 Italian Formula 3 series. But he has really done quite well in this American Racing Series, and of course it's important to be the series champion, because the series champion automatically gets a car entered in the Indianapolis 500 for him. Now that doesn't mean that he automatically gets an okay on the driver's test, and it doesn't mean that he has an automatic spot in the field. It just means that a car will be entered by Pat Patrick in the 1987 Indianapolis 500 for the American Racing Series champion.
To win the series is such a great boost for a driver's career, because to get an opportunity to drive an IndyCar is what all these young drivers dream about. And here we have a series created, tailor-made to create a new young superstar in America. And for the man who wins this series, it's going to be an enormous boost for his career, and every one of these drivers are very aware of that at the moment.
There is the 1st and 2nd competitors right now. Now we go back and pick up some of the drivers who are running near the tail of the field. Number 6, Gerald Rice here, and he is involved in
with Sammy Swindell, who earlier on practiced A.J. Foyt's backup IndyCar, so we may see Sammy Swindell running in 2 races this weekend.
Well, now the leader, Jeff Andretti, has for some reason fallen back here. At any rate, Mike Groff has taken the lead, but all of a sudden there, Groff and Nick Finoro Jr. caught the leader, Jeff Andretti. Mike Groff goes into the lead now. Finoro is still 3rd, but may be in a position to challenge for 2nd in just a few laps.
Mike Groff has a habit of winning races that we televise here on ESPN, because we saw him win back-to-back races on ESPN last year at Mid-Ohio and San Air in the Super V, racing against Jeff Andretti. So Mike Groff, no stranger to winning races here on ESPN.
Well, the pass for the lead came as they come out of turn number 3 and headed down the long straightaway.
It looked as if Jeff Andretti may have just backed off momentarily when they were lapping that back marker. Mike Groff stayed on the power, pulled way over to the left-hand side, the right-hand side of your screen, and was able to get the draft past 2 cars and just get that very necessary slingshot along this front straight here.
There's Mike Groff, who did win the Milwaukee American Racing Series event in the same weekend in which he won a Super V event at Milwaukee. He comes up through the ranks of midget racing, just as Nick Finoro Jr. is doing. His home is in Northridge, California. Mike Groff, already 13, make it 14 laps have been completed out of 40. And now we begin to see more battling back in the rear of the pack as Fabrizio Barbosa there in that red car continues to run well and be in third position. Of course, at fourth position.
The back markers that are now lapping regularly could affect the outcome of this race, because on a circuit as high a speed as this, if you have to back off momentarily to get around the back marker, you can lose enough momentum to possibly lose 3 or 4 or 5 miles an hour along the next straightaway. So really, if they have to back off passing back markers, it can cost them positions very, very easily here at Pocono.
Mike Groff, your leader in car number 20, and in second position is Jeff Andretti in car number 85. The Groff machine is entered by Groff Motorsports. He qualified in second position at about 169 miles an hour. And Jeff Andretti, meanwhile, who is running in second position, was our pole sitter at 171 miles an hour. Those are the standings. We'll be back with more after the messages.
You want a TV? We've got TVs. Little TVs, big TVs, stereo TVs. Hey, wait.
Color TVs. Before you buy any TV, here's how to cut through the sales talk and buy smart.
I'm gonna save you big bucks on your new car. Not 200, not 300, not 4.
Before you get talked into any car, get the facts in your free Consumer Reports 1986 buying guide issue. Call now to get your copy, along with the Medicine Show, both free with your paid subscription to Consumer Reports, the magazine smart consumers turn to. Consumer Reports gives you the inside story on products and services, with ratings charts that show you how they performed and how they compared. Whether you're shopping for great sound or a sound investment, you can trust Consumer Reports. Call toll-free to receive 11 regular issues plus your 2 free gifts. And as part of your subscription, the 1987 buying guide issue when published, all for just $16.
Call 1-800-544-1000.
See one of the world's top middleweights live on ESPN's Friday Night Fights. Sean Mannion's Irish eyes are smiling just thinking about the crown. But he'll be all business in Top Rank Boxing's main event, live Friday at 9 Eastern, only on ESPN.
Tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 Eastern Time, join us for the Champion Spark Plug 400 Winston Cup race from Michigan International Speedway. Of course, the hottest driver in Winston Cup racing at the moment is Tim Richmond. But this has been Bill Elliott's racetrack for the past several years. It should be a tremendous race. We'll have it live for you tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time here on ESPN. Now they continue to run in the same order as Jeff Andretti here moves to the inside and puts a lap on Stan Fox. Jeff Andretti running in second position. The leader continues to be Mike Groff. Let's go down to the pit area and Gary Lee, who's with Jeff's father, Mario.
That's right. Tomorrow, Mario will be battling with his son, Michael, in the Pocono 500. But today he's watching his youngest son, Jeff. And obviously it's easier to drive out there than to watch the kid run, right?
Well, I didn't hear what you said. There was noise.
I said it's easier to drive yourself than to watch your son out here.
By all means, yeah, a lot more relaxing for me.
I noticed there's no radio contact with the driver.
Well, there's not very much you can do, really, for the guy. If he has a problem, he has to stop. You know, this is just a green to checker type of race, and so it won't do any good. You can't really help him. All you can do is distract him, so you're better up and at it.
We talked to Michael earlier about his desire to start from the pole position and lead every lap if possible, to be that aggressive. It also appears that young Jeff also has that driving characteristic.
Well, I think they both really want to win, and I think in their respective categories, I think they've proven that they can do that, and of course that's what makes a racer. You gotta want to win.
We'll be watching you and son Michael tomorrow. Good luck.
Thank you.
As we indicated earlier, Michael Andretti will be on the pole for tomorrow's Domino's Pizza 500 IndyCar race here at Pocono. This battle for third position continues to be by far the best on the racetrack. They have been swapping that third position for the last several laps. Right now, Barbosa has it back. Nick Finoro Jr. in fourth position, but Nick has had that third position for the last several laps. Let's see what happens here as they come off the third turn and come down this long and fast straightaway.
This is a very good lesson for a young Nick. because his first time in racing these single-seaters at such close quarters, he can see what it's like to draft and to go through these high-speed turns behind the car. Now, what we saw there is Barbazza trying to break the toe, trying to break the slipstream away from Nick Finoro, hoping that he won't get a toe to come up and pass him. Now, this front straightaway, there's so much room. It's the widest straightaway I've ever seen in racing. So you do have plenty of room, but the driver in front has to make sure that he tries to break the toe early enough to make sure that Nick Finoro is not already alongside him when he moves left or right on the track.
Well, I would have to say that Nick Finoro Jr. probably is the crowd favorite, or at least has a lot of people in the stands rooting for him because they watch him compete in midgets up and down the East Coast and are very glad to see him in this type of racing, being elevated to the series that is the next step under the Indy cars, and Nick Finoro Jr. is certainly putting on a nice driving display. There's the battle going on. Fabrizio Barbazza in the red car trying to block him. They go in side by side, and Finoro grabs that third spot low in turn number 1. Nice move.
This is very, very good wheel-to-wheel racing. We saw Barbazza trying to break the toe again. Finoro stayed with him all the way, did get the slingshot and came down low at turn 1. A very, very good move by Nick Finoro.
They call him Noki. He began racing quarter midgets in 1974. He was Rookie of the Year in the Three-Quarter Midget Racing Association that year. In 76, he had 5 feature wins, and last year he was the champion in 5 divisions of midget racing here on the East Coast. And of course, his father, Nick Sr., is the official starter for championship auto racing teams. They come off of turn number 3 now, and Finoro leads. Fabrizio Barbazza is going to the outside now. Gerald Rice has dropped out of this event, and we go down to Gary Lee for that report.
We know how important this race was to you. You're out. What happened?
Well, we have a motor problem that we had been experiencing all weekend, and really couldn't define what the problem was exactly in the motor. And I think that it's an electrical problem at this point.
How are the track conditions?
The track is beautiful. Yeah, I think the track is faster today than it has been all weekend.
Obviously very frustrating how to be a spectator.
It's a bit disappointing, but like they say, that's racing.
Gerald Rice came into this event in 4th in the point standings. He had competed in the 4 previous races, and Gerald Rice's best finish had been a 2nd. That occurred on the Mile Oval at Milwaukee. Now, once again, this battle for 3rd position. I believe that Barbazza is going to have the momentum to carry him into 3rd at the end of the straightaway. Let's see. Finoro stays alongside. It's still a wheel-to-wheel battle, and yes, Barbazza does gain it.
Whew. The momentum still comes along this front straightaway. We saw Nick Finoro move to the left, try to block him. Barbazza stayed right in the slipstream, pulled out to the right-hand side, and just got that slingshot just a little bit necessary to get the outside line and the faster groove into turn 1. So Barbazza takes the position back, and this is definitely the battle of this race.
No question about it. It is a good showing by Nick Finoro Jr. and Fabrizio Barbazza. We had an opportunity earlier in the weekend to talk with Nick Finoro Jr.
Super speedway, never being on one before racing, especially in an ARS car, not ever competing in one of them. Having run a rear engine car in the Skip Barber series up here, I did have a little bit of background, but I'll tell you, it's night and day. It's something that I wish every short track midget driver could experience like I am. It's a lot of fun. The difference would be the speed, not really relating how fast you're going to how fast you're really going, because it feels like you're going 50 miles an hour and going 180 plus down the straightaway.
And of course, Nick Finoro Jr. is hoping for a good showing here today that will allow him to continue in this ride. For the moment, Nick Finoro's ride in this car, sponsored by the Machinist Union, is only a 1-race deal, but Nick thinks that if he has a good showing here, that they will enter the car in other races, and Nick Finoro Jr. can really gain some experience in rear engine and high-powered race cars. Once again, the battle. It is Finoro moving to the inside of Barbazza, and Finoro does take the position again.
He takes it again, and we just saw number 4, Tommy Byrne, who's having a grandstand view of all this action ahead of him. Tommy Byrne is another very experienced driver in this field. Tommy is about the only man I know that went from Formula Ford straight to Formula 1 and back to Formula Ford again in about 3 or 4 seasons. But Tommy spent the last couple of years over here in the States. His racing background is from the European road racing. He is from Ireland, and his battle continues ahead of him. He still has a good view of this. Barbassa then again takes the third position from Finoro. But Tommy Byrne, as I was saying, is a very experienced driver here. This is his second race in these ARS cars. And Tommy really would like to progress up to the IndyCar ranks.
He's the third car there in your picture, the blue car, trailing this battle for third place. It's back and forth. First Barbassa has it, and then Finoro has it. Finoro, once again in turn number 1, makes the pass and moves into third position.
What I do like about looking at these two drivers is they're not trying to block each other. They're quite happy to remain reasonably well on their own line and let the other driver just take his line and get around him if he can. So that's good, clean, wheel-to-wheel racing. And I think both of these drivers will probably come out of this race saying it's probably one of the most enjoyable races they've had for a long, long time.
Well, Nick told me this morning that all he wanted to do today was finish and have a clean race, but he is doing some racing out there with Barbassa. Back in a moment at International Raceway.
In just a minute, you're going to find out how you can get a
International Raceway for event number 5 in the American Racing Series for 1986. Our race is 28 laps old out of 40. The leader is Mike Groff. In second position is Jeff Andretti. Third, at least for the moment, is Fabrizio Barbassa. And fourth is Nick Finoro. There they are on the racetrack. That's how close they are. They continue to swap those positions. Running in 5th place is the number 4 car of Tommy Byrne. And in 5th, unofficially, I believe, would be the number 8 car of Billy Boat. We have been told by the observers that they are watching that number 8 machine for some loose body work. But without question, this is the best battle on the racetrack. Those 3 cars there are going for position, but it's been basically a back-and-forth battle between the red car, number 12, Barbassa, the car right behind him, the maroon and silver machine driven by Nick Finoro Jr. in his debut in this type of racing.
When a new driver comes into a series like this on a one-off situation, he always hopes that the machinery he will get will be competitive and up to the job. And obviously Nick Finoro has got the car under him here, so he's now able to show just the type of driving talent he has. So really, when a driver gets this opportunity, someone like Nick Finoro is making absolutely the most of it, and I can think that Andy Kenapensky from the Machinist Union, who really gave him this opportunity, can only be impressed and can only want to help this young driver as much as he can for the rest of his career.
Down the straightaway once again. There are a couple of back markers there ahead of Barbassa, the number 10 car. The blue car was driven by Juan Manuel Fangio. Now there's a little bit of daylight that opens up between the Barbassa machine and the one driven by Nick Finoro Jr. We have completed 30 laps, only 10 more to go in this race. It's been a clean race, no problems whatsoever. We sort of came here this weekend thinking that there might be a lot of accidents because of that turn right there that the cars are going over, because there's been so much discussion about how bumpy it was, but they moved in some concrete earlier this week, and from all indications, they smoothed it out to the point of it being a very high-speed turn now. Tom Sneva did crash yesterday during a qualification attempt at that location on the racetrack, but it was in no means caused by the bump. He ran over something on the track that cut a tire and sent him into the wall. Tom Sneva will be in tomorrow's Domino's Pizza 500, but he will be in his short track car. We'll be back with the resumption of this race in just a moment. At the moment, Mike Groff is the leader.
No, it can be difficult for the drivers to see the yellow light when the track goes caution. So Whelen Engineering, in cooperation with CART and SCCA this season, is providing these amber strobe lights. In fact, we have 6 here at Pocono, 1 at the entrance and exit to each of the turns. Now, these are stock production models, the same ones you see on ambulances, fire trucks, and police cars. They're also being used here on the pace cars. As one driver puts it, I don't have to look for the yellow, it finds me.
And just as Gary was beginning to do that track fact regarding a yellow light, the yellow comes out here at Pocono for the very first time in this race, and it's because of debris on the racetrack. No accident, no spin, just debris on the racetrack that will have to be picked up. Here's the leader crossing the line and completing lap number 35. That's Mike Groff. Second place is Jeff Andretti. Third is Fabrizio Barbaza. In fourth place is Nick Finoro Jr. And fifth is Tommy Byrne. Let's go to Gary Lee.
It costs a lot of money to maintain a race car. This may be the cheapest component right here. It's simple duct tape. We call it racer's tape. Sometimes it's white, sometimes it's silver. That time Billy Boat was black flag because he had a piece of bodywork loose on the left side. They taped it up. He's back out in competition.
And there are the safety officials out there on the racetrack picking up the debris. Now, we gave you the top 5 at the moment. In 6th position is Juan Manuel Fangio. In 7th is number 8, driven by Billy Boat. He was black flagged, may have gone down a position. We'll check on that. Then is the number 14 car of Brad Murphy, followed by Sammy Swindell and Albert Nayon. Those are the first 5, Groff, Andretti, Barbaza, Finoro Jr., and Tommy Byrne. Back with more right after this from Pocono.
Liberty Weekend is immortalized on ABC's Liberty Weekend Commemorative Edition cassette. Produced by ABC News and offered by ABC Video, this 40-minute program captures all the excitement and pageantry surrounding the 100th birthday of the Statue of Liberty and the celebration of freedom. Relive one of the most spectacular fireworks displays in history and enjoy the grace and beauty of the gathering of tall ships from all over the world. To order your cassette of the Liberty Weekend Commemorative Edition on VHS or Beta for only $19.95, call toll-free 1-800-521-1018. Ask for operator number 2. Visa and MasterCard orders accepted. Or by mail, send check or money order to ABC Liberty Cassette, ABC Video Enterprises, Department 2, 2040 Avenue of the Stars, 2nd floor, Los Angeles, California, 90067. Please allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery.
Harness racing's most exciting series, the Breeders' Crown, premieres live Friday on ESPN. The world's best pacing mares are racing for more money than ever before in a series worth $5 million. It all starts live Friday at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN. Back on the track that's too tough to tame. NASCAR's best stock cars attack Darlington and the Gatorade 200. Live Saturday on ESPN.
Under a yellow light because of debris on the racetrack, we have had an accident. It occurred here on the main straightaway. The cars were coming down, trying to line up in single file, and somebody ran into the rear of somebody else. The 2 drivers involved are Fabrizio Barbaza and Albert Nayon. We have a replay of what happened. Maybe we can see exactly what the problem was.
It happens just on the left of the shot here. In fact, the impact has already taken place, but you can see Barbaza hit the back of Nayon, number 84, Albert Nayon. So Barbaza, having made the contact, we can only surmise that it may have been his fault. You can see the right front suspension hanging off the car. So his day is definitely finished, and the safety crews are now back out on the circuit picking up the debris. So you can see the fluid also coming out of Barbaza's car.
Yeah, I think we're going to be down a few laps here to get up this fluid, if nothing else. There is the incident. That's a Nayon in the white car and Barbaza in the red car headed for the inside of the racetrack. Nayon's car rests toward the outside of the track and Barbaza's to the inside. Well, Gary Lee is with Albert Nayon. I'm sure he had a first-hand watch and observation on that. Gary?
I would say observation because it looked like he got hit from the rear, so he couldn't see exactly what was transpiring, but what happened?
He just came from the rear. I mean, just slowing down. I mean, you have to stay your pace, and he just came from behind me and just hit me. So,
the car obviously is badly damaged, but you're apparently okay.
Yeah, I'm okay, but the car's pretty much damaged.
I don't know if we can get Barbaza at the same time. He is walking away from us, so we'll throw it back to you, Bob. We'll try to get the other driver involved.
All right, it's a tough break for Fabrizio because he was the points leader going into this race. And Mike Groff, who is the leader, was in second, so definitely could be a nice tight battle for the points lead at the conclusion of this event. And Barbaza was running in third when the accident occurred. that will move Nick Finoro Jr. up to third place once again. Well, let's go back to Gary. I think he may have more information for us. Gary?
We do have the Italian driver standing here, and from your cockpit, what happened?
I have watched the pit board, and don't have seen the car they have touched.
So you just glanced away for a moment, and when you glanced back, there was a car right in your path.
Sorry.
So you just glanced away to look at your pit board for a moment, and when you look back, the car was there.
Yes.
So there's the situation. He simply looked away, and that was just enough time to put a car in his path.
Sometimes when a driver gets in a pace car situation like this, he will spend a lot of his time looking down along the pit lane to pick out his particular pit board. And really, although he's behind the pace car, things do still happen very quickly. And I can understand from a driver's point of view how Barbatza can take his eye off the road, look to the left for his pit board, because his pit crew are obviously giving him information on exactly what to do. And right as he looked away, which is exactly what he said there, although his English is rather difficult to understand, as soon as he looks left for his pit board, the car in front of him either moved to the piece of road that he wanted to be in, or just maybe got on the brakes behind the pace car. So from a driver's point of view, I can understand how a simple thing like that can cause an incident like we've just had.
I think it's very likely that this race is going to end under yellow. We are on lap number 38. And when they come by next time, it'll be lap 38. They still have to get Neon's car off the racetrack and get that fluid up, and we may end under yellow. I don't know. Anyway, tomorrow we'll be back here for the Domino's Pizza 500 beginning at 5:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Now, this will not be live, but it will be same-day delay. Again, lots of activity in the qualifying as Michael Andretti set a new track record and will be on pole for tomorrow's race. And we have a total of 30 cars that will be taking the green flag for the 200-lap 500-miler here at Pocono. It'll be at 5:30 tomorrow afternoon Eastern Daylight Time.
Right at the top of the show, we suggested that if Mike Groff did have a good day here, that if things went his way, he could go away from here with the series lead in points. And it looks as if everything that we surmised may happen is in fact going to come true, because there's only 2 laps left. We think we may have a lap under the green to finish off this race, because all the debris has been picked up. So although there's only 2 laps left, I think Mike Groff is in a very, very strong and safe position to come away with maximum points from this race.
The starter has the green flag in his hand, so we will apparently have 1 lap of green. It'll be a dash to the finish, as now Jeff Andretti is in a position to perhaps go into the lead. Mike Groff, and we'll see what Nick Finoro Jr., who's been running strong all afternoon, can also do on this restart. There's Groff in car number 20, keeping the tires warm behind the pace car. And the white machine right behind Mike Groff is Jeff Andretti. There are a couple of cars between Andretti and third running Nick Finoro Jr.
The third car in your screen at the moment is number 7, Sammy Swindell. Now, Sammy is a lap down, although he is heating up his tires. Really, if he could move out of the way and let this lead battle get on with the race, that probably would be the best thing to do, because we really would like to see Nick Finoro get up behind Jeff Andretti and really make a battle, a 3-way battle out of this last lap.
Sammy Swindell has been commuting back and forth between here and Knoxville, Iowa, where they're running the World of Outlaw Knoxville Nationals. The Cahill brothers, who own this race car, have provided the Learjet for Sammy to do the commuting, so he may be suffering from a little bit of jet lag, but still doing all right in this ARS race. Mike Groff begins to pick up the pace now. The cars are in corner number 3, and the pace car is pulling up at the racetrack. The green comes back out, and we have 1 more lap to go. 1 to go. Let's see how things shake out. That's Sammy Swindell, who is passing Mike Groff, and so does Jeff Andretti. So it's a very poor start for Mike Groff. He loses the lead, and Jeff Andretti grabs it as they go into turn number 1.
Mike Groff made the classic mistake of delaying too long on the restart. Jeff Andretti timed it absolutely perfectly. Hung back at the right time, gave it full power at the right time coming off the turn, and exactly like Cogan and Rahal at the end of the Indianapolis 500, the second man got the slingshot. Jeff Andretti looks as if he's got this race tied up.
Well, now Mike Groff does pass Sammy Swindell and begins to close in on Jeff Andretti, but there may not be enough racetrack left. It's going to be a good battle to the finish, it appears. Groff closes within 5 or 6 car lengths, and here comes Nick Finoro Jr. on the inside to also make a battle out of it. Coming out of turn number 3 is going to be a race for position in the lead, and it's going to be Jeff Andretti winning over Mike Groff. Third will be Nick Finoro Jr. and then Tommy Byrne.
Well, what can we say? I think Mike Groff will regret that he just slipped a little bit on that restart. I mean, it's up to the driver who's leading to set the pace. Mike Groff set too slow a pace, rounding the last turn, and it gave Jeff Andretti the perfect opportunity to hang back, hit the power at the right moment, and come off probably 10 miles an hour quicker than Groff, and in turn just pull out and take the lead.
So we have a new winner in the American Racing Series. Jeff Andretti comes away with the victory this afternoon here at Pocono. We have a replay of the restart of the race. That is Groff leading in the blue car and Andretti in the white car. The green flag is being displayed right now, and Andretti, as you said, Derek, just timed it perfectly.
You can see he came off faster because he was on a higher line coming out of turn 1. He then got back into slipstream, pulled out to the left-hand side, drew past 3 or 4 car lengths, back out to the right-hand side to the racing line, and he's home and dry basically from there.
And it was just a matter of keeping a few car length separation between himself and Groff for the rest of the lap, and Jeff Andretti had the victory. His finishes earlier this year, a 5th at Phoenix, a 3rd at Milwaukee, a 10th at the Meadowlands, and a 10th on the road course at Pocono, but here, or rather Toronto, but here on the high-speed superspeedway of Pocono, Jeff Andretti comes out a winner. We'll be back to talk with him in just a moment.
These old-fashioned shingles have worn out before their time. The culprit, insides of mere paper. Ugh.
Now, these are long-lasting Owens Corning shingles. They have a heart of pink fiberglass, so they shrug off moisture, keep their cool and baking sun, and glide through winter after winter.
And that is no snow job.
Owens Corning, our building products put your house in the pink.
You know, a big wheeler dealer like me has to keep up on sports. And what's a better deal than picking up a copy of Sports Illustrated? You see...
Sir, I got a better deal.
Right, kid. You see, Sports Illustrated gives me the feeling
Sports Illustrated gave me this Football Follies video cassette. 44 minutes of football's funniest moments. And it's free with my paid subscription.
Free? Come on.
I also got 1/2 off your newsstand price. 27 action-packed weeks for 3 installments of just $9.79 each. Plus, I get their famous swimsuit issue and this NFL schedule. Free. Just call this toll-free number. You can even use your credit card.
Okay, let's get this straight. They get over 50% off the special issues, the schedule, and the free NFL tape. Now, see, kid? That's a great deal.
Gee, sir, you're right.
Yeah. Oh, Sports Illustrated? I want to renegotiate.
Sports Illustrated. Get the feeling.
Call now. 1-800-221-5900.
Alan Abelson, the editor of Barron's.
Usually buy a stock in the expectation that it's going to go up. The problem is you're buying it from someone equally convinced that it's going to go down. Now, who would you rather be? The person who reads Barron's or the person who doesn't?
Subscribe to Barron's now and get 26 weeks for only $41 with a money-back guarantee. Call 800-554-9000. 800-554-9000.
There are the top 5 finishers in the American Racing Series race from Pocono International Raceway. Jeff Andretti the winner, Mike Groff second, Nick Finoro Jr. third, Tommy Byrne fourth, and Sammy Swindell comes away with a 5th place finish. Victory Lane, Gary Lee.
Jeff, congratulations. You told me yesterday after your older brother Michael qualified for the pole for the Pocono 500, it really put the pressure on you to do well. What a great way to start the weekend.
Oh, it sure was. I'd like to thank the USCAN STP racing team. They did a really good job. And the car just performed very well all day, and we got a little lucky. We got ourselves a yellow towards the end so I could catch up. And I took advantage of it.
That's the point we like to make. Sometimes it takes that degree of luck. I don't think you could have had this victory without that yellow.
No, I don't think so, because I had a little trouble through traffic. My car was a little loose in traffic, and we really needed the yellow, and thank God we got it. I'd like to say thanks to the kart guys. They cleaned the track up and gave me the opportunity to go for the win.
Well, obviously, it was a popular victory for one guy here in victory lane beside yourself. That is Michael, your brother, and your dad is standing back here, so you got the weekend off to a good start. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jeff Andretti, the winner. Michael Andretti will start from the pole position in tomorrow's Domino's Pizza 500 for Indy cars, and Father Mario will be starting outside of row number 1 in third starting position. Back with some closing comments in a moment.
For Players Club International, Mr. Telly Savalas.
You know, I love the excitement in Atlantic City and Las Vegas, and okay, I get VIP treatment. Now, you too can get VIP treatment and big savings just by carrying the Players Club Go card. You too can save 25 to 60% off rooms, 25 to 50% off top-name entertainment, always 25% off food and beverages. Look, you can stay at some of the finest resorts in the world's most exciting vacation cities. Hey, no strings attached to get the club's benefits. You may save more than the cost of your membership the very first time you use your Players Club Go card. After that, it's bonus time, baby. You listen to Telly? Call Players Club today.
Call me now. I'll send you all the information you need about Players Club. And if you join now, you'll receive this handsome travel wallet absolutely free.
Call 1-800-544-1000 now. That's 1-800-544-1000.
Each day, an awful lot of paper lands on your desk. So should the Wall Street Journal. After all, information isn't power. Knowing where to find it is.
Call 800-372-3000 for this special introductory offer. 13 weeks for just $29.50 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $29.50. Phone 800-372-3000 now for the Wall Street Journal.
Get on the fast track. When man races to win, you'll finish first on the ESPN with innovative coverage of more than 60 races this year. The world's #1 motor racing network, ESPN.
Once again, there are your top 5 finishers. Mike Groff lost the lead on a restart. The green came out on the 39th lap, and Jeff Andretti made the pass, went on to win. Nick Venoro Jr. battled with Fabrizio Barbaza all race long for third. Barbaza was involved in an accident here on the main straightaway with Albert Nayon, dropping him out of the race. And then good showings also from Tommy Byrne and Sammy Swindell. Let's go down once again to Gary Lee.
There are always two sides to luck. Let's talk about the other side. Mike, what happened out there?
Well, everything was going really well. The car was working beautifully the whole race. When the yellow flag came out, the car was still running really well, and we were running slow around the track. And when the green flag came out, I had I was anticipating it totally. And when I stood on the gas, there was no power there. It just went flat. So I think it just richened up and loaded up. It didn't clean out until I got into turn 1, and by then Jeff was gone, so there wasn't much I could do.
Even though the midget drivers didn't win today, the midget drivers are riding high because we got second and third. If I can swing over here and I can get Nick Venoro Jr. to step over here. What a great ride for this lad in his first drive ever. Congratulations. How'd you like that?
Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun. I was trying to stay in the draft with Jeff and Mike, but they were so strong, they just pulled away, and me and Fabio had a good race going there for a while.
There's only one way to learn in racing, and that's to get behind the wheel and drive the race car, but it was an education for you out there today.
Definitely was. I couldn't stay with the 2 front runners, so staying behind Fabio, he taught me a lot in the tunnel turn and in the third turn. And, unfortunately, he had an incident on a caution flag. I don't know exactly what happened, but then I had to try by myself with the lap cars, and I started catching the leaders, but we didn't have enough laps, and they were just too fast. But I'm happy with what we did.
I can tell by that smile you had fun out there. You're happy now. And for all the midget drivers around the country, they're smiling for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, this is for you guys.
And let's hope the Machinists Union can also enter this car for Nick again to get him some experience in these high-powered race cars. Jeff Andretti, the winner, Mike Roth second, and in third position was Nick Finoro Jr. The American Racing Series.